I am sure that pretty much every LEGO Star Wars fan also really likes clone troopers. Because of this, LEGO has made a ton of clones over the years, and obviously some of them are rarer than others, which led me to the question, what are the current top 10 most expensive LEGO clone troopers ever made? In this video we're gonna take a look at exactly that, and to measure the prices I've used the cheapest listing on Bricklink for a brand new figure that's currently on sale. As always, prices can obviously vary over time, and the later you see this video, the more likely it is that this has happened. If you enjoy this type of content, hit like and subscribe, and now let's get straight into the video. On spot number 10, and with that the 10th most expensive clone trooper, is SW0450, the original Phase 2 Captain Rex from set number 75012, Bark Speeder with sidecar. The OG Captain Rex is currently worth around $87 US, which is pretty interesting considering that his remake appeared in a microfighter, which is significantly cheaper while not really being a worse figure. The old one is obviously iconic and still has some value for completionists, but while the price has kind of plummeted after the release of a newer version, I actually have to admit that I prefer the old one here. He has some flaws, but for some reason I prefer this one. Maybe it's nostalgia, I'm not really sure. Besides the face print, it is a very good and detailed minifig that even comes with a cloth pauldron and waist cape, modern LEGO could never, which really adds to the popularity of this figure and the overall looks. But continuing with spot number 9, we have a very old figure from 2005, and it's SW0129, Clone Trooper 442nd Siege Battalion Phase 2 from set number 7260, Wookiee Catamaran, a set that's in dire need of a remake. His current value is about $89, and I'm not even sure why this Clone Trooper is that popular, as I don't think that he had any canon appearances outside of some comics, but to be fair, the clone does look pretty cool and people have a soft spot for the OG clones, so I guess that's where the value comes from. Now, is he worth the almost $90 price tag? I don't really think so, at least speaking for myself, but I guess some collectors really like these guys. Continuing with spot number 8, and here we have one of my personal favorite LEGO clones as well, SW0331 104th Battalion Wolfpack Clone Trooper Phase 1 from the very beloved set number 7964 Republic Frigate. With a current price tag of roughly $92 US, this is definitely an expensive trooper to army build, which would explain why you rarely see a large number of them in most LEGO clone armies. But this is actually pretty sad, since the figure is absolutely gorgeous and has an insane amount of details on the helmet, torso and legs, especially for a clone that was released in 2011. The Wolfpack Trooper even came with a jetpack, which made him even cooler, but the reason why he's that expensive is that only one of these troopers was included in the Republic Frigate, and since then LEGO never remade these guys. But staying with the old Phase 1 Clone Wars clones, on spot number 7 we have SW0194, Clone Trooper Captain Rex Phase 1 from set number 7675, ATTE Walker and the STCC exclusive Hailfire droid from 2008. With a current price of $93 US, it is definitely not the cheapest of the Phase 1 clone commanders, and once again shows how beloved not only Rex but also the old Clone Wars clones really are. Rex is a very nostalgia heavy figure though. Yeah, he has some nice printing on his helmet, but the rest of the figure besides the head and commander pieces is not that special, especially since he's missing leg printing. Don't get me wrong, I love the old Phase 1 Rex, but over $90 is just too much for the quality you're getting in my opinion. But we're not done with the Rex minifigs, since spot number 6 goes to SW0314, Clone Trooper Captain Rex from set number 7869, Battle for Geonosis. His current value is about $108 US, which is a ton of money, but wait, isn't this basically the same minifigure? Well, almost, since the only difference between these two is that the cheaper Rex came with a visor, and the more expensive Rex came with a rangefinder instead. The $15 price difference comes from one piece, but what makes it even more insane is that you can get the exact rangefinder piece in new condition for 1 cent. I'm not kidding. So in case you have the cheaper Rex and want to make him more expensive, just spend a cent and your minifigure has increased $15 in value. Already making our way into the top 5, but still staying with Phase 1 Clone Wars clones, on spot number 5 we have SW0202A, Clone Trooper Commander Fox Phase 1 with solid light bluish grey semicircle buff belt. This part is gonna become a lot more relevant later in this video, from set number 7681, Separatist Spider Droid. Commander Fox is currently the only named Phase 1 commander which got a LEGO minifigure that I'm missing, which makes his current value of around $140 US even more upsetting for me. He looks really cool, and compared to Rex, he does not only come with the commander gear and helmet print, but also with very detailed torso printing. Since he's from 2008, he didn't get any leg printing, and considering this and his current aftermarket value, I'd say that we really need a remake of him and potentially every Phase 1 commander in the near future. This is further confirmed by the next Phase 1 commander on this list, cause spot number 4 goes to SW0330 Clone Trooper Commander Wolf Phase 1 from set number 7964 Republic Frigate. His current value sits around $165, which was to be expected after the Wolfpack Trooper was already really expensive, and this being the only Commander Wolf figure that LEGO has made so far, it makes sense. He comes with the standard Clone Trooper gear. Contrary to the other commanders and captains, his gear is black, and he has a ton of very detailed printing on helmet, torso, legs, and was lucky enough to get a pretty good looking unique head print. I was lucky enough to find a good deal on him twice, but I'd still really advocate for a remake of this figure, as well as a Phase 2 version in the near future. Spot number 3 is the first clone in a while which isn't from the Clone Wars, and it's SW0131 Clone Scout Trooper Kashyyyk from set number 7261 Clone Turbo Tank. This guy is currently worth around $173, which is heavily due to nostalgia, but to be honest, I kinda get it. Now, I've never owned this guy as a kid, but I still gotta admit that he looks really freaking cool for a figure from 2005. He comes with a ton of printing for such an old figure on his torso, hips and legs, and while the helmet mold is a reuse of the Imperial Scout, it still looks pretty cool. Now it goes without saying that the newer Kashyyyk Scout from 2014 is not only cheaper, but also way more accurate and better looking, but I do get the appeal of this older version as well. A lot of you probably expected this guy to be on the list, as well as being the number 1 spot, but no, he only managed to come in second place. Spot number 2 goes to SW0315 Clone Shadow ARF Trooper from set number 2856197 Shadow ARF Trooper Polybag. Most of the old made-up 4th GWPs that came with figures are pretty expensive nowadays, and the ARF Trooper from 2011 is obviously no exception with a current value of an insane $406. The black armor looks absolutely badass. He comes with the amazing ARF Trooper helmet mold, and the printing on his helmet and torso are simple but look really clean. Since he's an old figure, he sadly didn't get any leg printing, but he's still an eye-catcher in any display or LEGO clone army. Now, while I wouldn't pay over $400 for this guy, I'd really love to add him to my Grand Army of the Republic one day. But now, spot number 1, and with that the current most expensive LEGO Star Wars Clone Trooper is SW0202B Commander Fox Phase 1 without solid light brush grey semicircle above the belt from set number 7681 Separatist Spider Droid. Currently there's only one figure listed for sale on Bricklink, and with that his current value is roughly $3,990, which not only makes it the most expensive Clone Trooper, but also one of the most expensive LEGO Star Wars figures ever made. But what is different about him compared to the Fox from earlier, and is his current value really almost $4,000? Let's discuss the difference of the two Fox variants first. Remember when I said the grey semicircle is gonna become a lot more relevant later? This is the only difference. The more common, and because of that cheaper version, has a grey semicircle at the bottom of the torso print, and the rare variant, which is more valuable, just simply doesn't. But does this missing circle really make the figure worth almost $4,000? In my opinion, not really. To be fair, there are only 7 listings for this figure on Bricklink right now, which is not a lot. Only one of them is a new figure, but I guess that the seller just really hopes that collectors and completionists pay the prices, since it is so rare and the variant was unknown for many years. The latest new Fox that has been sold within the last 6 months was sold for around $520, which is obviously way less. This would still make it the most expensive clone, but at a way more reasonable price point. But now please let me know in the comments down below which figure's price really surprised you, and which is the most expensive clone that you own. As far as I know, my most expensive clone is Phase 1 Wolf, which I'm lucky enough to own 2 of, and I'm really proud of that. Now I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would highly appreciate a like to support the channel. If you're new, go hit the subscribe button, and if you want to check out some of my other videos, they'll be on the end screen right now.